This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. Not long to go before our drivers hurtle off the line and into the first turn, the Niki Lauda curve, as it was renamed in 2019 in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 rights and 3 lefts, making up the total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. Joining me on this very wet day is a man who's no stranger to driving in miserable conditions. Anthony Davidson, you've driven open cockpit, you've driven sports cars. How does the wet weather experience change between the different disciplines?
Well, I wouldn't say there's much difference in all honesty. You know, besides the terrifying closing speeds you find in sports cars with the different categories all sharing the same track, driving in the rain is, well, driving in the rain. Of course, the biggest difference between the two is the closed cockpit versus the open cockpit. You get the luxury of staying dry in the sports car, but if your screen ever gets dirty, well, that's a pit stop, not just wiping your visor or pulling away a tear off. But most of the time, you know, they're both as miserable as each other, to be honest.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Rodriguez, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez and Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll and Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, Giovinazzi, George Russell and Nikita Mazepin, Latifi and Esteban Ocon rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
We've reached a worrying level of wear on the internal combustion engine. Let's try and keep the revs down. Early upshifts, later downshifts. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. You are in first position, front of the pack. Verstappen behind. The gap to the car behind is 9.3 seconds. They're on fresh inters. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. The turbocharger is on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum. This is your final lap of the race. You're leading the pack. P1, Verstappen is behind you. Our gap behind is 12.7 seconds. They're on fresh inters. This is your final lap of the race. You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up. Fantastic drive, just fantastic. You deserved that race win.
Smiling faces on the pit wall after a superb win here in Spielberg, and rightly so, a brilliant effort from the whole team. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
The Aston Martin team will be very happy with today's performance and the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork, and a well-deserved first-place finish. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Rodriguez increases their championship lead. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Rodriguez. Look at where they finished compared to where they started. It's not easy to cut through the field like that in Formula One, so it was a great effort.
Let's move on to the constructors. Aston Martin continue to run away with it out in front. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.